and a son. My heart broke. My heart just broke when I saw it, and I just said, God, here I am. Can I do something? Is there a way to get one girl out? And that's how it all began. I had no desire to do anything like this. I was just broken. I was just so broken when I saw these beautiful young girls and women. And so Wipe Every Tear was born. That's the short story.
All right, so that was in 2008. So when you say you saw the sex trade, what do you exactly mean? That you could you like give some context, like walk us
Yes.
into this world?
Sure. Well, my first introduction was in Manila, the capital city, very highly populated, big third world city. And I was with high school kids. We were. It was actually, I was a basketball coach, but I also took the volleyball team as well. So we would go high school. We would go volleyball, basketball over the years, 2007, all the way, a number of trips. And so I had seen it online. I'd seen the whole about the sex trade, and then I saw a thing. I was on my computer one day, and it popped up, and it said sex trafficking. And I started clicking and saw that it was in the Philippines. I thought, wow, I've been in the Philippines for 2 years, two times in 2 years, And I thought, well, let's go find it. So with high school girls, high school kids, parents, they just empowered me and said, yeah, go do this. And we saw it, and we just saw these in these little. It was really a junky little area, very low end trafficking, low end price, for girls, and these little dirty. If your audience can just kind of picture the third world, whatever that image has, of poverty and open sewers and garbage and a lot of smoke, smog, pollution in the air. And you can just see poverty. You can smell poverty. And it was in that kind of an area. And we went to these little tiny, and I say bars, you're thinking nice little bars, walk in, air conditioned. No, these were little tiny cubicles, little tiny, just one after another. And I remember one place had one table and one chair. And I walked in with a couple people, and they went next door and grabbed some chairs to bring in. And we saw these girls, and you began to hear the stories of these girls, how they would sell they're in such poverty, such need, that they would sell their body for sex for a bowl of rice. A bowl of rice. And the least we'd ever heard was a cup of coffee. One of the girls we talked to, she said, I was so hungry. I just wanted something. And I just said, can I have a cup of coffee? And then we can, so that's how I first saw it. And but then that was about a year of experiencing that. And then after a year of that, we started in 2012 is when we began with our first girls. And then,
what do you mean by that? Began with your first girls?
We had, good question. Is that we got a house. By the way, I'm not a rich American. I was teaching school in a private Christian school, so the teachers get paid far less than the public schools. And my wife was working part-time jobs, and we were just doing all sorts of things just to make ends meet. So we just started this thing called Wipe Every Tear. And so we got a house. We rented a house. And then I got a director there to run things. Her name was Becky. She was a Filipina lady. And we just went after girls, we just went to those areas and we just started going after girls. And with the invitation of come into our safe house, come into this house, and we will restore you in the name of Jesus. We're a Christian organization, not a religious organization. Big difference. We are fully about Jesus, his power, his love, and the non-religious stuff, which so many people confuse between Christianity and religion. And anyway, so we started getting these girls. They would trust us. They'd come into our house, and then all these girls had a high school diploma. So the goal of ours was to get them in college, because in the Philippines, you cannot work at McDonald's or Burger King or any fast food in the mall or anywhere without having a college degree. So there's great poverty. So education is a key to breaking poverty. So that's when I say we got some girls. And we had 4 girls for 1 year. After 1 year, we went to Angeles City in the Philippines. It's a sex tourist destination area. In fact, there's 240 bars, and they don't allow any Filipinos to go in these bars. It's only for foreigners. And so we went into these bars, started seeing these girls, and my heart continually breaks and breaks and breaks and breaks. And so that's, and by the way, you can't get a degree in sex trafficking, sex trafficking restoration, so we didn't know what we were doing, how we were doing it, but we just knew that God's heart was for people, trafficking is terrible and wrong. And so I'm a very simple guy. And I just said, I want to make wrong things right. And so we did. We just started helping these girls. And it grew and it grew and it grew. And that's where we are today.
I see. When you say bars, do they actually present those places as bars, even though they are not?
Yeah. Well, they are bars. They're bars. There's alcohol, there's drinking, and then these girls are hired. By the way, prostitution is illegal in the Philippines.
Okay.
So you go like, how in the world are there 12,000 girls in this one city on one street, one long street? How in the world are there 12,000 girls in a place where it's illegal? It's a developing world, third world, and come to find out that I had no idea. I thought police would be. I just thought, the police in America, I suspect Germany and the Western world are good people that you can go to for help. If you're in need of help, you can call the police. They will come to help you. It's not so much that way in the Philippines. And in much of the world, I've been to India and I've been to, all over Asia, and the police are, unfortunately, and I don't speak this against the nation, I just say that's just a corrupt system. I love these nations. I love India. I got Indian friends. I love Hong Kong. I have Chinese friends there. I love Taiwan. I love the Philippines. It's just the system is broken. And so everyone's on the take. So here's 12,000 girls, and they just turn an eye, literally turn an eye to it. And it's there because everyone's on the take. Everyone gets money, Well, you give us some money, and then we'll let you exist. So they are bars. If you haven't been to Las Vegas, you can at least picture it, because everyone has seen Las Vegas on video or TV. I call it third world Las Vegas. Lights are flashing, but think of poverty. And think of it way scaled down. If you and I were to go there and say, I'm going to take you to this elegant, wonderful area like Las Vegas, you would go and you'd just go like, what? I mean, it's broken down, but there's lots of lights. And so that's what it looks like. Girls are on the street, and they invite you in. And so you go in, and there's bars, there's bar stools, there's tables. It's it's very loud. And then they hire dancers. That's what they call them, dancers. Or they call them GROs, guest relations officers. And it's just prostitution hidden.
But they're kids, even though they're kids.
Well, they're not supposed to be minors. You're supposed to be 18 and above. So there's a lot of, but there are girls that are younger. But so we'll find 18, 20, 25, 30. We'll find them in their 30s. They start to get older, less desirable, and that's it's all a matter of, you want some nice looking girls to escort you to your hotel that night.
I see. So all ages. So, Kenny, you touched on a very important point, right? Corruption. It seems to be a very corrupt place. If those illegal activities are happening and the police are turning their backs, it's like I can only imagine corruption is at play. If that's the case, how come, as you self mentioned, a white American can just go there and talk those girls out of this lifestyle? Won't they catch at some point, like Kenny's problem, like he's not welcome here anymore? How come this is like you're being helpful for so long?
Yeah, it's a great question, man. It's one of the most oft asked questions too. Is it people say, like, how do you do this? I mean,
Yeah.
well, you know what, Brew, I don't know what kind of a paradigm you come from, spiritual paradigm, but there are powers